Class, we're going to be working on lesson 610. And lesson 610 is about using a table, like the one in front of you, for finding an amount, or what's called a balance. And the balance is going to be based on an increase or a decrease amount each year or each month. Okay? So, for example, let's say that you deposited into the year 2000 $273.5 million. No, this is population. If there was, in 2000, 273.5 million people, okay, and you knew that the population was increasing by 0.85% each year. What this lesson is about is how do you find out how many people there will be in 5 years, for example, or in 10 years. And what you're doing is taking this amount and multiplying it by a number that gives you the next amount. The number is called a multiplier. Okay? The multiplier is 100%. If you multiply a number times 100%, what are you getting? The same number, right? Because 100% is just multiplying it by 1. Well, what if you multiplied it by 100% plus the percent of growth? So in other words, 100% plus 0.85%. Well, then the number you would get after that, or the next amount, would be 0.85% higher. Right? So if you put in 273.5 million people times 100% plus 85%, which is 1.085, because it is 100% more. I'm sorry, 0.85%. So it's 0.0085. If you put that into, multiply the number times this as a decimal, then that's giving you a little bit more. That's giving you the next amount, 0.85% more. Okay? Let's look at your activity sheet here, your worksheet. John. I know it is. Yeah, I'm going to give you both sides to do if you don't listen and follow along. All right, John, read the question for us.
Well, say we have a 7% per year, deposit $1,000, and then have the cost without any money. How much will you be account for
Right. So, what we're going to do is this is about depositing some money into an account and it growing by 4% per year. Okay? So, in the first column is the amount of principal, it says, or the amount of the initial balance, which is $1,000. Is that right? Or
$1,000.
Yeah.
$1,000. Okay? Now, if we multiply that by the decimal form of the percent increase. What is the percent increase?
4%.
4%. So the decimal form of 4% is 0.04, right? But we also want to multiply it by 1, because the 1 represents the 100%. Okay? So really what we're multiplying it by is the 100% plus 4%. 1.04. Now, do that on your calculator.
other words, you can just get 1,000 and then just multiply it by 4 and then hit the same sign and it comes up to 40.
Right, $40 is the amount of what?
Interest.
It's the amount of interest, isn't it? But if you multiplied it by 1.04, what would you get? $1,040 because it's multiplied by 100%, which is 1,000, plus 4%, which is 40. Right? You can do that all at the same time by using this number, 1.04. Right?
Yeah.
So you see what's kind of happening here? You can do that each year to see what the growth is. Let's go to the next one, the assignment. Yes, Isaac?
I found another way you could do this.
Okay, can we talk about that after we go through, because I want you to help you with the one with your homework assignment, okay? So can I show you what to do on the homework assignment and then answer your question? Okay, let's go through a savings account. What does that say? Michael?
Savings account pays 5% interest per year. They deposit $1,800 and then do not deposit or withdraw any money. Take the table and find out how much will be in their account at the end of 10 years.
Right, so it's savings account pays 5%, right? What is that as a decimal? 0.05. And we're going to multiply it by 100% plus the 5%, right? So what number should we use? 1 point, let me move this. So it's going to be 100% plus the 5%. So we're going to multiply this by 1.05 as the multiplier for each year. What would after the first year, what would it be? Hunter? $1,890. Now, if this is the new balance, then in year 2, we're going to use that number and multiply it by 1.05. Because we'll get another 5%, but it's going to be of this number. Not by this, by the balance after the year. What is that? What would go in the line 2? Chase?
For the interest?
No, the total.
Oh, the ending balance?
Ending balance, yep.
1,984.5.
1,984.5.
50.
Right? So 50 cents. Yep. Now, take this number, move it back over here. And multiply it by the multiplier again. Okay? Now, let me ask you something. In a different type of question, what if you were having to take a little bit away each year? Not divide. Instead of our multiplier being 1 point something, the multiplier would be less than 1, because it'd be less than 100%, wouldn't it? What if, for example, you had $1,800 to start with, but instead of putting money in, you were losing 5%. Yeah, that would be bad. Maybe you invested it in something that was not a good investment. And so you were losing, it was a decrease of 5%. So what would the multiplier be? Instead of 100% plus something, it would be 100% minus something. Minus, in this case, 5%. So what would the multiplier be, James? Yes, 95%, which is 0.95. So you'd have to multiply the balance times 0.95 each time to get a decreased amount. Okay? So that's how you use that. If it's an increase, you use a number that is higher than 1, such as 1.05. If it's a decrease, you have to use a number that is less than 1, like 0.95. Okay?
Should we round to the nearest hundredth?
Yes, round to the nearest, no, round to the nearest hundredth when you're talking about money. Okay?